Welcome to Holistic Human Performance Podcast. My name is Gena Bradshaw, where we talk all things holistic health, wellness, spirituality, fitness, meditation, energetics, and so much more to help you become the healthiest version of yourself. Let's dive in. This is not medical advice. This is simply to help you on your journey through health, fitness, and wellness. I hope this helps. You can complement this with anything that you are doing currently in your life. Enjoy. Are you someone who is so intrigued by spirituality, wanting to learn more about all the different facets, wanting to enhance your spiritual gifts, your soul gifts, your intuitive muscle? This has been coming up so frequently in my client sessions and community comments and conversations. And it's come to a point where I just said, I need to create something for you guys. So I created the spiritual school where we help you develop your spiritual muscle to enhance your health, well-being, and get you on your soul's path and purpose using your unique soul gifts. Whether you want to develop your soul gifts to help yourself or you want to bring those to light to help the world and develop a business from it, this masterclass series is 100% for you. One of the buckets that we teach about in holistic human performance is spirituality. This is our innate wisdom within each of us that there's something greater than us helping us along the journey. And our soul connection to that is a vital force that helps us on our own soul's purpose and mission here on earth. When this is ignored, we then have trouble facing our challenges, adversity, and we go against our innate wisdom, which in turn can create physical disease in the body. So throughout these 5 weeks, we are going to take a deep dive into developing your spiritual muscle, your intuition, and how to integrate this into your daily life. Because remember, this is a lifestyle. This is not something that you just do once in a blue moon. This is a complete lifestyle change, and I'm here to help you every step of the way. So we start these live stream classes each week starting March 24th, and each week will be live and we'll be able to catch the replays. So if you are ready to take a deep dive into spirituality and developing your soul gifts, I invite you to the spiritual school. I'll put the link in the show notes. You can also find this right inside of the Holistic Human Performance app, which you can get on Apple and Google Play. See you there. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Holistic Human Performance Podcast. I'm your host, Gena Bradshaw Vitale, and we have our very special astrologer with us today, Jake Santora, and we are diving into Pisces season. We were just riffing before we started recording, and we have some really cool things coming up for you all in the works. And I guess that's the beauty of Pisces season, very mystical and intuitive. So yeah, what do we got in Pisces season?
Well, I think for our listeners, right, even the way Jen and I started the conversation, she's been getting a lot of downloads, a lot of spiritual things coming her way. And I'm like, yep, that's Pisces season, right? So if you're experiencing the same or seeking to get more into spiritual, right, investing into your spirituality, going to even holistic human performance, look at all the meditations there. Like you're gonna feel something different when you have the investment at this time into those spirituality, because that collective Pisces energy is all mystical, spiritual. It is about gaining your intuition around illusions. So it's such a powerful energy for the work that we've been chatting about, things that our listeners love to delve into themselves. So it's such a great time period to bring that spirituality to the forefront of your daily life is so powerful. And I know you've already said, right, you had a couple experiences. I've had a few intensified experiences, and you can't make this stuff up in astrology. It's just the truth of the universe at play. And that energy is just around all of us right now.
This has been a really big theme actually, and I recorded another podcast episode earlier today, and it's been a heavy uh topic that I've been really trying to put out there. And we were talking about how there were some big triggers coming up for us, and we like leaned heavily into spirituality, which is, leaning into faith and the fact that there's something greater than us. But I think people are leaning into that spiritual bypassing, which is neglecting it. So it's like that love and light, but really like dissociating from the actual emotions that are coming up. So when you do have these triggers and these challenges, knowing that, you can get through it, it's going to take some steps. However, you can't like ignore what's coming up.
Mm.
So that's where the intuitive and spiritual aspect comes in, where it's like that faith, that belief, and really just thinking, okay, like how can I get through this? Like what do I need to do? I need help. And surrendering to the process of whatever answers need to come through. But I think I've been seeing a lot of like this whole like love and light thing, and you can't have light without darkness. So if you're experiencing, because I know I have a lot of triggers and just like that subconscious like programming of, how you used to be and how you used to view things, like that's it's kind of like part of the play. So you kind of have to just roll with it. But I wanted to say that because instead of old me would have kind of just suppressed the emotions and just kind of like gone angry and just said whatever and just moved on from it, or however I would have used to handle it, maybe go for a hard run, I don't know. But then then I would just like suppress it and just not go back to it. So if it's coming up again, your body's like, hey, we need to work on this.
Oh, that's beautiful, beautiful. Because that's the journey of life. That's evolution. That's our evolving cycles, right? We all see these patterns, and I think as we get older, I'm 32 now, right? I'm fortunate to be 32. You want to ask Jake at 22 what I was doing, who I was, didn't really understand the process that the universe is going to give you lessons. It's going to happen over and over again, and I truly believe that they become a little bit less severe when we do get it, maybe once, twice. Maybe it takes the fifth, sixth time. Right there, I've seen these patterns, I recognize them now. But to that point, right, the unconsciousness is kind of part of that Pisces mentality. This illusions and illustrations. Pisces is a great example is like dreams. Dreams are the forefront of Pisces energy. It's these illusions, illustrations that is it reality? Is it not reality? Right. But sitting in that energy to say, well, who knows, is powerful, right? And to your point there, asking those questions of, okay, I see this pattern. How is it making me feel? Why is it making me feel that way? But you can't really find that unless you can find silence. And I think silence and meditation and, all these triggers are coming up from our external environment. But closing your eyes and seeing what comes to your mind is such a Pisces example and moment, right? And there's so much power in that ability to then take this illustration, take this dream, literally a dream that you have, and bring it into reality. So Pisces is kind of the separator there. It's going to give you this reality, or I'm sorry, this dream, this illusion, this illustration that you're hoping for, the ability to acknowledge what it is. And then you do have to come back to reality, right? So coming back to reality isn't so much what Pisces like to do, but when you're doing this work, it is going to be important to not completely disconnect and disassociate as well, because there is some energy where, you said it's not good or bad, it's just the reality. I like to call it harmony or discord is my
Mm.
favorite word, where how do I harmonize this energy? And discord is like, it verted me a different way, which was weird. And some of the discord might be, oh, I'm overly meditating, or substances can come up. So if it's mushrooms, marijuana, or other things, that there is a connected tie to Pisces energy, because again, you're affecting the mind, you're affecting your ability to not see things straight, which, if there's substances, sometimes that could benefit, sometimes it can really, lose sense of reality. So this is a very powerful energy spiritually. And because of all those reasons too, just be very conscious of the level that timing that you're taking for how deep you're going into these illusions, and then making sure you come back to reality. But it is a beautiful harmonizing opportunity if you can sit in those dreams and in that illustration of the mind that it paints for us, and then come back to reality and then watch it paint in front of your eyes is pretty powerful.
Mm. Ironically enough, we're recording on the new moon in Pisces, so this is pretty awesome. And one of my favorite things to do, because I see this a lot, and I really do believe that this is a gift of mine. I just see this a lot with people who are healers and in the spiritual and holistic realm, where and also I see the opposite of people who are too much in the 3D realm, where they're too stuck in the clouds, they're too stuck in like that 5D, and they don't know how to ground down, and they're like, thinking that they need to meditate all day and do like a whole slew of things in order to manifest. And you can be having a really shitty day and still manifest really great things. It doesn't like have to be like that. So one of my favorite things is to merge the two together of like being in that 5D but also being able to ground it down into that 3D, because we are living in a 3D reality. So
Yeah.
we kind of have to like do things here. And we are abiding also by like living on planet Earth. So, there are things that we have to do, paying bills and, working. And it doesn't have to be like so difficult and challenging, or as complex is more the word. We don't have to make it so complex, but again, it's like, okay, what are my dreams and how can I now ground this down into reality? And I think also that's interesting you said going deep into stillness and meditation, because that literally the last 2 days I kept getting that download, and I was like, I really need to like get a little bit deeper with my meditations because I haven't been.
Mm.
So that's interesting that you said that.
Oh, that's beautiful and well said all around that opportunity it presents, because that's all it is. I see the opportunity to put yourself in that position to see a different reality, right? I mean, that is, some people love to dream. Some dreams are a little scary, if you're not a fan of a clown and a clown jumps out at you, like it's that realization that deep in the mind, there's some fears, there's some joy, there's all these different emotions, and those emotions align in the work that we always chat about is energy, and the energy has to go somewhere. It has to go somewhere, especially someone, that's born, that's a sun sign, right? When you're born in these seasons, for any new listeners, right? You're born in this seasonality, you are a Pisces person, right? That's your sun sign. So you're going to have an intensified energy force of Pisces, and that might be someone who, yeah, meditation is probably beneficial, but also is drawing. Drawing is a beautiful approach. Being an artist is someone that I could see being a Pisces. You hit it on the head though with spiritual leaders. Probably a lot of Pisces energy because, even the way that you're getting these downloads, that's not a quote unquote modern thing to a lot of people. There is still this voodoo talk of people like, what are you talking about? I'm talking Pisces energy. That's what I'm talking about, because you can go to this other realm, to this other universe, and accept that there could be a sense of something greater than this concrete reality, right? And I think to that, the greatest energy of leveraging this is being in those states, but yes, coming back to reality. And one of my favorite, people I love to, watch and listen to is Abraham Hicks. And she does a
Love.
lot, right, of a law of attraction. She's fantastic. The energy, the frequencies we put out. And I think one thing that I was listening to with her is we can't be so detailed. Can't in that meditation, in these illustrations, is that part of some frustrations is you have this Pisces energy, you meditate, and it has all these very specific details. I've been a victim of this many times. I was like, it's got to go this way, it's got to be that way. And when you recognize that the dreams are there, but if you detach and you let go of what exactly it's going to look like to get there, it is fascinating that you start to align in that vibrational frequency when you just let it go. And it comes out sometimes even more beautiful than you thought. So I think to that point of the intuition and the mystic of Pisces energy is, yeah, see it, feel it, enjoy it in that part, but know that when you come back, the illustration is still going to paint, but don't be so specific on it. That's a big thing, I think.
Yeah, a lot of people get tripped up on that. I definitely used to be a victim of that as well. But now I just kind of like, all right, this is like what I want. Let's just put it out there and see how I actually can't even as of late get detailed with my manifestations of what I want. I'm just not a detail oriented person. I'm just kind of more of a big vision kind of person. When I think of like the smaller steps, it's like cringy to me. So, but a lot of people get tripped up because of this like control thing where, we obviously like grip too tightly and we're like, it has to be this way. But it's always going to be better than what we would expect. And leaning into the universal laws is a great way to kind of learn how to hone into that energy, like attracts like, which is law of attraction. But it doesn't mean like, you're always attracting, but don't get nervous where you're like, oh, if I'm doing something bad, I'm gonna attract something bad. Like it's when you have repetitive thoughts over and over and over again, that's when you start to draw that into your reality and become like that vibrational match. So don't get like scared over that. But
Yeah, no, that's fair. Well said. Well said. And I think to even go to individuals' astrological chart, right? Anyone's chart, we always say, everyone has Pisces energy in the chart. It's just going to differ for people. So we talked about the sun to a degree, but rulership is something that we preach with our astrology format. So a lot of our stuff isn't just just sign. It is very focused on planets. So literally that's what drew me into this astrological philosophy is literally the focus of these planets because literally above in the sky, miles and miles away, they're around, they're up there. The energy and the frequencies of those things up above us right now, you can't get to a point where you can tell me that that's not impacting something here. This little micro thing that I am down here, like I think we're all energy, and to that point with the Pisces energy in your own chart if you want to take a look, and you can always reach out to us for that support anytime. But there's Neptune. So Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, and it's going to carry a lot of those similar traits. And a helpful way is if you find Neptune in your chart. Jenna and I did a class recently that you can rewatch on the mobile app as well anytime, but it goes through the houses, and the houses in your chart represent experiences you're going to have in this world. So I say that because you can look at your own chart now, gain this understanding of what Neptune and Pisces energy is like, and where does Neptune fall in your chart is going to help give some clarity of, oh, I understand why some of this more spiritual, mystical energy is around this piece of my life. So that's just something that we always want to give everybody is that you can really leverage this to your personalization because it is your soul blueprint, right? And it's what comes up with you. And it's funny that what Jenna you were just talking about, the Capricorn Neptune is in your chart, like that's Capricorn Neptune. So the long-term goal, like you want to be on top of that mountain, like you're down to climb it, you can see it, like that's such a beautiful beautiful thing. And the little steps tomorrow to get there, they're not as intriguing as it's going to take me 10 years, I can't wait, right? So there's like that beauty in this, and for me I have Neptune in my 11th house, which is about communities, and when I get to chat with you in my community and the spirituality, it's such a blessing for me, and it taps into these different things. Or if I go to a yoga class or a spiritual healing, it's vastly different than me going to lunch with a couple buddies of mine that I played football with who don't really love spirituality and watch football. It's a different energy, right? So it doesn't hit my Neptune 11th house as much, but you can literally start to see it, feel it when you can see where everything starts to align over time.
Yes, I love that. So, what are some like practices you think would be beneficial for people during this time?
Yeah, I think, biggest thing that I do to my practice, something you do, people we come across, I really don't think in this type of work, astrology, spirituality, modern psychology, whatever we're doing in the aspect of supporting the evolutionary process, the self-development, there's really nothing more beneficial that I've come across than sitting in silence. You don't
Mm,
even have to call it meditation if you don't want to. Just sit down on the bed, be don't put any headphones in, like what have you. I highly do recommend to go to the mobile app for Holistic Human Performance, pull up those meditations, like because it does help to have a guider, especially if you're new. But there's going to be a wide range of listeners. So if you're new, if you're a veteran, maybe it won't be so hard. But I think the challenge that we're going to present to everybody is, can you take the following days of Pisces season to spend at least 5 to 10 minutes in a meditative or silent state? Track it if you want, put a ticker down. There's something I do with my clients where we have a token board. So we literally put a token, like an image, on every day that we accomplish one of our goals. And it's a beautiful process that can help you stay engaged and give yourself a reward. But that would be the challenge, is that this Pisces energy is so powerful now to sit in that state. And you're going to find some beautiful things in that moment. So it isn't the easiest thing to stay to that dedication, but all we're asking for is 5 to 10 minutes. And I think that will be an incredible seasonality for everybody.
yes, I challenge all of you for the next 3 days at least. Just take 5 minutes every single day at some point in the day and go deep. Go be still. Don't listen to anything. And just even if you just focus on your breath, see what comes up for you. Even if you have like you're gonna have thoughts. Thoughts are not just gonna dissipate, okay? We have like what, 60,000 thoughts a day? I don't know. Like they're not just gonna like go away. So if you have thoughts, that's not what we're saying. Like stillness is just being with yourself and going inward. What is your internal world? What does your inner world look like? Because it's probably a reflection of your external world. I always say if your inner world is on fire, your external world is probably on fire as well.
Yep. Yeah. Well said. Well said. And that's the frequency of me. Imagine if your dedication every day was to 101 self-development. And that's really what we try and preach. Is I really stopped figuring my goals to be this amount of financial abundance, this amount of this specific job, this specific living spot. It was like, what if I just got really freaking good at breathing? I just got really good at the thing that we all have to do and just kept breathing. And one day at a time, simplify this thing. Um, and it is a challenge to get that meditative state, but you'll find it so powerful, and it's such a great opportunity to do just that. Go to class in 101 self-development, and it can change your life.
The cool part about meditation is it may take you longer to get there in the beginning, especially if you have like a dysregulated nervous system and you're not able to like sit with yourself, which means you need it more. Um you as it's just like training a muscle, so over time, and I think this is the only tool that you can do this with, over time as you practice longer. So let's just say if you start off with like a 45-minute meditation and you do that consistently for like a month. After that, it takes a shorter amount of time for you to just drop in. So after you practice over, months, years, you can easily sit down wherever you are. And like, even if you hear cars flying by or an airplane or, a crying child, like you could just drop in. Like it doesn't matter what's around you. That is a gift right there. So being able to practice that should be a goal for everyone because it is such a gift when you're able to do that. I was not able to do that back in the day. Like before really practicing meditation, I was not able to sit with myself. And when I started doing that, I'm like, why didn't I start this sooner? This is amazing. So I implore each and every single one of you to just try it. Just try 3 minutes or 5 minutes. Set a timer so you're not thinking. And once that timer's off, good. You set your goal and you accomplish your goal.
Wow, it's beautiful. I think that's the challenge, gang. It's the challenge. You heard it from Jenna, right from her as
Let's do it.
well.
All right. So happy Pisces season, everyone. Jake will have some really cool meditations coming up that will be going live in the app. So stay tuned for that. Check it out with your 5-day free trial. I'll put all of the links in the show notes. We have a ton of new moon meditations in there, full moon meditations, and obviously like breath work, tapping, all the good stuff to help you just on your journey of figuring out what tool is going to work best for you. So we hope that helps, and we'll see you soon. Bye.